So we in this era where, boxers are put in PC, also known as protective custody, man, where their promoters, everybody that stands behind them, supports uh supports unfavorable fights, supports and keeps their fighters from dangerous fights or fights that's gonna test them and push them to the limit. That's pretty much what it is. This new era of boxing that we're going through right now. Not all, but it seems like most are going this way. And you know, two notable candidates for this PC era of boxing is Canelo Alvarez and Gervonta Tank Davis. With similarities, but not everything is identical with them two, but definitely. And you can even argue the fact so is Jamal Charlo, because you gotta think about it. Like, okay, Jamal Charlo, he's had that belt. What was it, WBC? He's been holding on to that thing for how long? And he's not trying to unify. He's not trying to be undisputed. You got Triple G out there with a belt. You got Demetrius Andrade with a belt, and you got was it Murata? I think that's his name. He has one of the belts. So 160 is kind of like scattered with the belts. It's scattered everywhere in 160. But I'm not even sure that Jamal Charlo, even if he wanted to become undisputed, it would probably never happen for him at 160 because even though he is ducking Demetrius Andrade, even if he did fight Andrade and get the WBO belt off of him, Triple G just won't fight him. He won't fight um, uh, Charlo. He won't. So Triple G can also be a candidate for being in PC as well, But I'm going more with the Canelo because Canelo's just blatantly doing it, and so is with Tank. Seems like, but definitely Canelo Alvarez. But the difference is with Canelo and Tank, man. I think Tank truly don't want. I think Tank wants to fight these dudes, man. But the difference with Tank, he don't have control over his career. Canelo has much control over his career, but he's also being advised, by a lot of dudes as well that's around him not to take certain fights. I honestly believe that too. Like dudes that scout fights for him and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're telling him, look, man, the Benavidez fight is not a good look. That's not going to end well. Or Demetrius Andrade, he's too slick and too crafty, and he throws punches from sneaky angles, and I don't think you really want to do that because it's going to go out there, it's going to make you look bad. And I think what happens is like Floyd, I think since he fought Floyd, man, his handlers or his people, so to say, they've been telling him to stay away from fighters like that, keeping him away from dangerous fighters that's high threats to his career, or it's going to give him another loss, or and fighters that have power. Because I don't care, a lot of people say Floyd has power, man. Guys got to watch his earlier fights. Floyd definitely has power, and Canelo was feeling that in that ring against Floyd. Even Floyd said it was a point in that fight where he feel like he was about to stop Canelo, man. He said that, and I believe that. So, I think in Canelo's case, man, he's truly a real coward. He don't want to fight real fighters. Just by his comments telling him how, he gets to do what he wants. He does what he want to do. He said it. He's pretty much telling you, hey, look, if I want to fight somebody I know I could beat up on, I'm going to do it because I can do what I want. That's what he pretty much saying. Tank ain't saying that. Tank wants to fight these dudes, but they have Tank on the leash. Canelo's not on the leash. He's just getting advised not to take certain fights, and he's seeing it himself, and he's saying, I don't want to fight that person after he's being advised, not to fight this person because this is a bad style matchup for you. That is not a champion, bro. That is a fake, a fabricated champion, man. When you think about it, man, a champion that has to dip and dive and jump around dangerous fighters just so he can make himself look good and put on this whole facade like he's such of a monster. When you think about it, he hasn't shown us anything against fighting other monsters, man. Only Floyd. Floyd was a beast, man, and he couldn't beat him. I don't care about him being young. because he already was like, what, 30 something fights in, almost 40 fights in when he fought Floyd. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse for that, right? So this era that we in, bro, it stops us from getting the fights that we want, and as time goes, man, a lot of other boxers gonna get put in that same cell, and Teofimo gonna be one of them. Golovkin, Jamal Charlo, they're on their way to becoming confined to PC as well. It's different ways you can look at it. Like, the fighter putting themselves in PC by ducking fights. The advisors are advising them to duck fights. Either way, I don't care how you try to spin it. That's PC. You're in protective custody, and you are being protected, or you're protecting yourself from potentially dangerous fights, and that is disrespectful to the sport. That is why I can't get with. I'm not ordering any of these pay-per-views anymore. I'm live streaming shit. Straight up, like if it ain't a Bud fight, or somebody like that, I'm live streaming shit straight up. I'm not gonna be ordering these fights, man. I'm not ordering, because that Canelo fight, when he fights that Makabu dude, that shit gonna be on pay-per-view, man. Like, come on, nobody wanna see that. You dig? But anyway, let me know what you think. Drop a comment, like and subscribe, man. I'll catch you dudes later on the next one. And I'm off this. Peace.